Are all Americans super confident, or would we ever experience 内耗? A lot of people think that all Americans are very confident in themselves, whether that be about physical appearance or work abilities or even social skills. I think when most people picture the typical American, they'll picture someone like very positive, very outgoing, kind of loud, and a little bit too confident in themselves. But to be honest, this is all just a big stereotype. While there may be some people who fit this description, that's definitely not the case for the majority of us. And there are a lot of people here who are pretty introverted or a little bit socially awkward, or they don't really have a lot of self-confidence and they overthink every single decision in their life. We also have a word for this called imposter syndrome for these situations where you might have already achieved some success in life. Maybe you got into a really good school, or you got a really good position in a company, or your business is going really well, anything like that. But you still are self-doubting yourself. You're still feeling not that confident. And you feel like someone might have even made a mistake by letting you be so successful. Imposter syndrome also affects women a lot more in America, and there are studies to prove this. So basically, even if they're the CEO of a company or they have a really good position, they hold a lot of power, they're still going to be second guessing themselves, and they're still going to be questioning their abilities and thinking that they're not really good enough to have this position that they have, even though they probably worked really hard to get there. Once we get into this cycle of thinking that we're not good enough, it can be really hard to escape and focus on positive things instead. Anytime we make a mistake or something doesn't go as smoothly as we planned, we'll find a way to blame it on ourselves and constantly overthink things and constantly wonder about all the what ifs in life. Like, what if I didn't say that? What if I just chose a different major? What if I did this instead? But this way of thinking is honestly just gonna make life miserable for ourselves. I think it's natural for people to have feelings of self-doubt or to feel a little bit insecure at some times, but other people are just way better at hiding it, especially in America. We even have a phrase called fake it till you make it, which basically means that you're pretending to be confident and pushing yourself to have a more optimistic mindset, and then eventually you'll really start to feel like you're pretty good at whatever you're doing, or you really will start to feel more confident in yourself. So sometimes it might seem like someone is super confident or super sure about all the things that they do in life, but on the inside, they're probably struggling with all of the same things that everyone else struggles with. They just have different ways of dealing with these negative emotions. I do also think that sometimes people confuse friendliness and optimism for self-confidence, when really there's no correlation between these things. I mean, most Americans, they're pretty friendly. I mean, we'll hold doors open for people and we'll rush to help anyone if we see if they're struggling. For example, the other day at the grocery store, I just saw someone help this new mom and her baby put all the groceries in her car and help her take the cart away. And they were complete strangers, but that's just something that Americans are used to doing. And when I'm abroad, I can always tell when I run into another American on the street because we'll just subconsciously smile at each other. I mean, smiling at strangers is just something that Americans are socially used to doing. And we're also pretty optimistic, and we like to look at the bright side of things even when life gets hard. But being friendly, being optimistic, this stuff has nothing to do with our self-confidence. You might meet the most friendly person in the whole world, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be super confident in themselves. They might be really struggling with feelings of self-doubt. They might think they don't deserve the job they have, or they're not good enough to do the things that they want to do. Some people might also just be more confident depending on how they were raised or the environment that they grew up in. So for example, most Americans my age grew up hearing that we could do anything we wanted to as long as we worked hard. Or even if we failed at something, you just get right back up and try again. So hearing these things as we're growing up might help people gain some more self-confidence and also have a more positive outlook on life, especially when things don't go the way we planned the first time around. Personally, my family was never really the type to sugarcoat things or to say like really positive and encouraging things all the time. And we never really say, I love you that much. That's not to say that my family is really cold and heartless. It's just we're not really affectionate with words or the way that we talk. But there have been a few times when my parents said something really positive and encouraging, like totally out of the blue. And sometimes when I'm feeling kind of down or I don't really feel that self-confident or things aren't really going well at work, I'll literally just think of the one time my mom told me, you can do anything you want to do. And it really helps to motivate me and start working harder at the things that I'm doing. Overall, every person is different. And it's really just this huge stereotype that all Americans are super confident. I mean, we're all human, so of course we go through times when we don't really feel that self-confident, or maybe we're unsure of what we're doing with our life. But I think there's always ways to look at the positives, even when things aren't going the way that we want them to. As long as we're trying our best, it's good enough. So I hope this video helps you understand a little bit more about American culture or motivated you to look on the bright side of life. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.